everyone, and welcome to our Brightspace walkthrough. Since we are going to be 100% online asynchronous, that means we're going to be using Brightspace for pretty much our whole class. So let's take a look at our page together. I'm just going to share my screen, and this is what you will see when you first click on our class in Brightspace. And you'll notice that right when you get on here, you can jump in to the content for the different weeks. We're always going to see our syllabus at the beginning, and then our weekly content for each week of class. So you can scroll down and you'll be able to see every week. You'll notice that on the side here, you also have announcements. Because it's not the beginning of the semester yet, we don't have any. But once we have announcements, you'll be able to see them right here. And you'll be able to see deadlines for any work that's due in the next 2 weeks right here. If you keep scrolling down, you will also see a calendar with all the upcoming events. Typically that's due dates, but every once in a while it'll be something like, hey, this assignment is now available for you to start. Now, I've jumped right into our page. It is worth also noting that there's some things at the top, so you could get to the announcements from this box or from here, right? You can get to your grades from here. You can also, all this content, get to the content from here. The content each week will have some combination of assignments and discussion, so you can look at those here. You don't need to, though. Those are there if you want them, but you can access it all from our different content modules for each week. So let's dive in and look at a content module. I'm not going to look at our start here week because that's going to look a little bit different than our average week. Let's look at week 2. So if I click on the week 2, the module, you can see it brings us right to our week 2. We're just going to give you just a teeny blurb about the week. And then you're going to see a checklist. I'm going to open that checklist right there. You can see it's telling you the different things you're going to have to do by Thursday night and by Sunday night. And as you may have already seen on the syllabus, when I say by Thursday or by Sunday, that doesn't mean you have to do the work on Thursday or Sunday. It just means you have to submit it no later than Thursday or Sunday. So you can see that for Thursday night, you'll want to have read and watched your weekly summary, started to look at the other weekly materials, and posted your initial post on our discussion board. For Sunday, you'll want to finish looking at the weekly materials and finish your discussion. That means replying to 2 of your classmates. If you hadn't submitted your initial post on Thursday, you could always do it for partial credit by Sunday. And for week 2, there's an extra credit assignment, so you'll see that optional extra credit on your checklist. As you do something, you're welcome to tick these off. That is just for you. So let's say I already looked at my weekly summary, I can check that off. Now, I haven't, so I'm not going to leave that checked. So now, how do I get back to the week? Well, there's a couple ways. The easiest is right at the top here. You can see week 2 and click on that. Now, for week 2, we've looked at that, and you'll remember that the first task was to look at the weekly summary. Where's that? Well, that's always going to be in your weekly materials. And that drops down right here. You can click the little arrow, and it'll drop down, and there's our weekly summary. You can click weekly summary to get the document, and you can click video to get a video of it. Once you've looked at that, if you feel like you want to dive right into the other materials, there's going to be readings and videos of different things throughout the semester. Sometimes you'll see optional ones. Obviously, optional means they're optional, though I encourage you to take a peek at them, especially when I have optional things like this loaded on here, which is a sort of, if you haven't done if you don't have a certain background, you may want to check this out. It'll help you clarify some concepts. So that's our weekly materials. The other way you can get to them is in the sidebar. You'll notice them here. You can click on that, and then you won't have the distractions of your other weekly page. You'll just see that list of our materials. Now, to get back to module 2, I could have gone to the top, back to our home page, gotten to module 2, or I can just access it from our side navigation. You can always hit the back bar in your browser as well. So I'm going to minimize materials. Let's say I've taken a look. What else do we have? Well, we have extra credit. You can drop that down. You'll see you can't click on it yet because semester hasn't started. But when it has started, you'll be able to click on those and see these PDFs and answer questions in the assignment. It's not really a quiz. It's just that's what Brightspace calls it. You'll also be able to participate in discussion. This is another thing that's not showing up because it's not week 2 yet. But when it is week 2, you'll be able to see the discussion board prompt right here, and you'll be able to click on it and start participating in the discussion. So that's pretty much the course that we're going to have. If you're interested in checking out the syllabus, it's right at the top, and you can see the syllabus and some different files under it related to the syllabus, things like instructions for participating in discussion. Once this video is filmed, there'll be a link to this in this folder as well. So you'll have all that there. Now, remember on the homepage, I showed you your course, that little calendar with upcoming deadlines. You can also find it here, course schedule. Nothing today, tomorrow, in the next 7 days because it's not the semester yet, but you'll be able to see a full schedule with everything. As I mentioned, sometimes it will show availability dates, but typically it's just going to be deadlines. So post your initial post, due, and then your discussion is due and extra credit is due. So that is our course.